Warning: this podcast contains spoilers concerning Pacific Rim and Pacific Rim Tales of Year Zero. Enjoy.
Alright, hey everybody, I'm Anthony, and this is some form of the Dynamic Podcast, which I think we're going to call the Dynamic Rim. If you don't like that, you can comment below. I really don't care. Alright, today I'm here with...
This will be Birch. You can call me Hubsy or
Hubsy, Tubsy.
Hubsy, Tubsy, Tubbly, Hubbly, whatever you feel like.
Yeah. Alright, well,
And I guess we're going to be talking about Pacific Rim today, yeah?
Yep, because, I mean, I've been excited since the first time I saw the trailer, and the first time I heard it, they were like, it's going to be Pacific Rim. I thought, oh, okay. They never said what it was about, and so I saw the trailer.
It's a weird name for a movie. Like, yeah. I had no idea. I was like, I knew Guillermo del Toro was attached to it, so I immediately was really excited because, you know, Hellboy is a kick-ass movie, and Pan's Labyrinth is one of the most fantastic films that I've ever seen. So... yeah, I mean, I was immediately excited, and then once I found out that it was going to be about giant robots and giant monsters duking it out, I mean, there's...
I didn't even see that. All I thought was, okay, we're going to have... it's going to be Pan's Labyrinth again. And then, I don't know, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, this is the movie I've been waiting for since Power Rangers went south. Like... when the Megazords stopped being cool and started being all CG, bad CG by the way, but then you're like, oh, this is it.
Yep.
And
this is when giant monsters make a comeback. And yeah, you know, well, I mean, you the viewer might not know, but our family has been deeply obsessed with Japanese culture since, you know, an early age. We were into Power Rangers, we were into Dragon Ball Z, we were into Gundam, and
not to kimonos and all that junk.
Not quite there, but you know,
actual Japanese,
the pop culture certainly. But an offshoot of that was that we developed a love for kaiju movies, like most ostensibly Godzilla.
But tell them what kaiju is, since that's not really a term.
For the layman, kaiju is literally translated in Japanese as strange beast, actually in English, as strange beast, but you know, we know them as giant monsters like Godzilla, King Kong, any number of other giant monster that you want to list off that are currently escaping me. But that's what kaiju are. So if you hear us refer to anything as kaiju within the next however long, that's what we're talking about. Kaiju.
All right, so we basically, you know, pointed out that it's a giant robot monster movie that, and this is gonna sound weird saying it. Okay, so you know how Toy Story was made for our ages. Like, you know, we were kids when we saw Toy Story, and they're like,
so Toy Story 3 was like
our goodbye to childhood.
Exactly.
Well, this was our, okay, you like Power Rangers as a kid, welcome to the real world when Power Rangers don't always win. And you're like, oh,
yes.
Thank you, Mr. Del Toro.
Yeah, so it's and Del Toro has openly admitted that he is a fanboy of the genre and is doing this as a labor of love. You know, he said in interviews and stuff like that this, like, making this movie has been one of the most rewarding experiences of his life because he gets to work with some really talented people on something that he's been passionate about since he was a little kid.
But that, and he doesn't have there are no rules. He makes them. It's not like with Hellboy where he had characters, he couldn't go out of stuff. Like, he literally got to do whatever he wanted. I mean, he got to destroy, you know, basically the status quo that we live by right now. He destroyed it by saying, okay, really it's not, and he said in an interview, it's not, okay, here's the U.S. versus these giant monsters. No, we are no longer just... we are a planet versus
it's humanity against this outside threat, which is I don't know if anyone, I'm sure you have, if you're halfway classy, have read Watchmen, you know that the only way that humanity is going to get rallied up against something is if it's or the only way that humanity is going to unify against something other than each other is if it's something so completely alien that, you know, there's no way of doing anything but fighting back against it.
All right, so like I said, now we know what Pacific Rim is about. So far from what we know is that deep in the Pacific, I don't know, something that looks like the monster logo rips open in the bottom of the Pacific, and these giant monsters
start pouring out. These pretty colossal entities start pouring out of this portal. Where this portal leads to, we don't really know. Presumably that is going to get answered in the movie, or
The sequels
depending
they've
upon
already
the
talked about.
success of this movie, the sequels. And I think I heard tell that we were actually going to get to cross over on the other side of the portal.
Really, I thought that's
something
what
I heard
happened.
somewhere. I can't tell you where I saw it, but
I thought it was when you see Gypsy Danger falling in, like...
no, that's when there's a portion in the trailer where you see Gypsy Danger being Gypsy Danger is the main hero, Jaeger, by the way,
And Jaeger is Russian. Is it Russian?
Jaeger is German for
German.
hunter.
Yeah.
And it's that scene right there. We're watching the trailer as we.
If you guys can't see, you guys suck.
But a kaiju named Otachi, which is a land-based kaiju, see it come onto shore into a cityscape, pretty awesome-looking neon cityscape, and it looks like the monster from Cloverfield, straight up.
Yeah. If you've seen the main trailers with the main fight scenes that they show in most of the trailers, it's the monster that he's fighting.
Yeah, and he is winged, so he's like smashing him through buildings and stuff. And it's at one point in the battle, I think near the end of it, probably they go up into the stratosphere, and you think that's where he ends up taking it down. Yeah. So,
but we can't just expect. Anyway, so basically, so these things have come out, and the first one hit San Francisco, where it destroyed the Golden Gate Bridge. It killed. I'm not sure it killed that many people, but to stop it, the government nuked it.
Yeah.
So the government killed everybody.
Right.
And so that started this war where they were building a wall. Somehow they're building a wall that was going to stop.
It started off with them using nukes. Like, for every time a kaiju showed up, they would have to nuke it ultimately because conventional weaponry was just not powerful enough. And so this is all sort of explained in the Pacific Rim prequel comic.
Year Zero?
Year Zero. Tales from Year Zero, I believe it's called. And basically, some scientist was like, we need a way to destroy these monsters without causing so much damage to the infrastructure. So that's where the idea for the Jaeger came about, and sort of took off from there. I think the wall, the whole deal, the deal with the wall that's getting built, that's like taking place 25 years later. Humanity is like losing its battle against the kaiju. And the wall is like the last ditch effort to keep them at bay while humanity survives. And so that's the whole like tension of the film is like, do we fight or do we run? And I'm guessing that
but there is no running.
Right.
I don't know. I just don't see it as being a, like, I don't know. It's here, so I'm going to run over here and it can't get me. Mm-hmm. These things literally, it would take you a day to travel. It can skip.
Right. You can just, like, crawl up over some giant wall. But it looked like the walls were, like, bristling with guns and stuff like that. So it could be a viable defense, but...
The guns that didn't affect it in the first place.
Right. So it's entirely likely that it's not going to work.
It was like a jockstrap. Or a cup, This is going to work, but when you get hit and you get rocked...
It's not. It
doesn't help at all. But no, I thought that, like, they were building the wall and then... They were like, oh, what's that hanging in your bunker? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's $1 trillion, arm that we're testing out. And so I guess the main not general, he's just a trainer, or he's the head of the Jaeger program.
Yeah, that would Idris Elba. Idris? Yeah. I think it's Idris, but
Mustache Man.
His character's name is, oh gosh, who is he?
Well, we will check
consult
out
the Oracle. Pardon us.
As much as I hate not knowing stuff, as a lot of people all 6 of the people who listen to the show would know, his name, it's not Luna, that's his sister. Gosh, this is embarrassing.
Freaking name. Come on, we have the internet. We should be better at this.
Going through a book. Yeah, so we're gonna Google his name since I couldn't find it in Year Zero.
Anyway, Well, we can come back to his name later.
So anyway, he goes in, he tests the arm out. He's like, okay, this works. This is what we need to work on. So they invest everything in making this Jaeger program, which if you should buy Year Zero.
We should probably warn people about spoilers. Yeah, if you haven't read Year Zero,
don't worry. There's already a.
Oh, is there?
Okay. There's a beware of spoilers.
Spoilers ahead.
Yeah. So
I don't know what sort of accent that was supposed to be.
But yeah, so people are aware, but no. So they make the Jaeger and they fight the kaiju, and they're like, okay, this is working. So we need to build more.
Right.
Which obviously, I mean, you have more, and apparently they start winning. They do really well. They start. I don't know how many kaiju there originally were. Originally there was just like 8, and then. They start killing them.
That's another thing I'm curious about, and I hope the movie answers that. Is like how frequently the kaiju come out of the portal, and like maybe if there's like multiple kaiju at a time. If there's some sort of regular cycle where the kaiju come out. If there's some way to predict it, or if it's completely random. I'm guessing it's going to be completely random. Otherwise. They'd have like blocked it up or set up turrets outside of the portal to knock out anything coming in or something like that.
And then if we know there's a portal, we know it for sure, and so the things come out of the portal and now they live on Earth and they're on Earth and they're living. So shouldn't we close the portal to stop it?
Yeah.
So if it's been open for 25 years, wouldn't they have I feel like I saw there's a new trailer that came out with who played Hellboy.
Ron Perlman.
Yeah, Ron Perlman. He does a little advertisement where his character in the show, I guess, sells organs and tissue, and he's like, well, here's a baby, and it like rips off a piece of a kaiju that's like a spleen or something, and it has like legs or something. It looks like Cloverfield, how they like laid those weird
the little parasite things.
Yeah, it had those. So now don't we have a big problem that there are kaiju? Mini kaiju.
Yeah, breeding.
Yeah, so they're like
on our planet.
So
maybe that could very well be a thing.
Maybe that's what the big threat is. So the Jaegers fight the big ones, and then the
little ones make it so that it's really hard to get to the portal. There's always like a new kaiju getting bigger and bigger, and like I don't know. It's hard to say without actually seeing the movie, and I do hope that's something that's a question that they answer in it.
I'm just afraid of. Like, I wouldn't mind if we found that there was an entirely different world that had the kaiju on it. I don't want it to be where there is an alien overlord that is sending them over.
I'm pretty sure that's already been established. That's basically what's going on. Because these things are like designed to, like, they are designed basically. Is what Guillermo has been in a couple interviews I've heard him. And the way he talks about the kaiju is that they're like specifically designed to come in and clear out humanity so that whatever is living on the other side of the portal can come in and take our shit, basically.
But then, so what chance do we have against? I mean, look how Prometheus did. They didn't take down the engineers. Like
no, they just and Prometheus was another movie that was a setup for sequels. It wasn't a standalone movie. But where it should have been, I guess.
I was afraid for this movie because I thought that's what it was going to be. Because when they said, they've already had plans for a sequel, but then you're making it so, that's all this movie's good for.
Yeah,
is
setting up the sequel. And that doesn't work well. The reason that the first Iron Man movie is so good and the reason that the other ones are so crappy is because the first one was completely standalone, whereas the later two they wanted to tie them into Avengers and they wanted to like tie them into the next Iron Man movie, the 2 and 3.
Because then they got caught into its net.
Yeah, and it was just like Robert Downey Jr. being like a great actor, but just sort of jerking himself off on screen, and like just visual effects got. At least this is how I felt coming out of the third movie. Like I had seen Robert Downey Jr. get into and out of an Iron Man suit so many times, like I just sort of glazed over. I didn't care for the third movie. I didn't even care for it.
And you guys saw my review for Iron Man 3, and I thought it was a slap in the face.
Yeah.
But
anyway, back to the matter at hand, kaiju. So
we've established that we know what the story's about, where it's going. We know what the main players are, the kaiju and the Jaegers.
We've got Charlie Hunnam headlining the whole deal. I'm particularly excited about Guillermo Guillermo's choice of him to play the lead because I recently got into Sons of Anarchy at school last semester, and he kicks ass in that show.
Mm.
Like, he's a blundering idiot, but he's still lovable and also pretty damn attractive. So
he's a good-looking man.
He's a good-looking man. But and I know he's got the acting chops. Like, he was great in Undeclared, which if you haven't watched, watch it. It's great, good TV. He's great in Sons of Anarchy, and hopefully he'll be good in this one. Be able to carry it. And this Meko Mori character, I forget what the actress who plays hers name is, but she seems cool too. Like,
yeah.
And Guillermo del Toro loves putting Ron Perlman in his movies, so that
But he's just good.
Not even worried
he's
about
good
it.
at everything he does.
He's great. He's awesome.
Like, he can play the douchebag, he can play the caring character, he can play it all.
He can play the fucking hero. I mean, just look at Hellboy. Like, even in Alien Resurrection, which was arguably like a terrible movie. His character was pretty cool, and like you started out hating the dude, and by the end, at least for me, I really liked him, and I was like glad he didn't die. The only sort of questionable choice I think they made in casting is Charlie Day as the geeky scientist guy, and that's only because the only other thing I've seen him in, the only other two things I've seen him in are It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and something about, what's that movie? Killing Your Bosses, or How to Kill Your Boss?
Oh, it's Bad Bosses.
Bad
Or Terrible Bosses.
Horrible Bosses.
Horrible Bosses.
Horrible Bosses.
She was funny.
I didn't care for it, mostly because I don't care for It's Always Sunny. I mean, there are some episodes that are funny, but
it's not always
particularly like his sort of shrill, reedy voice. I don't know. He just
but they
sort
did
of
have an
grates on my
episode
nerves.
where they thought they ate a human, and they were like obsessed with the idea they had to eat another, so they found a hobo and they were gonna eat. They're like, "What's his name? We don't want to know." Well, we got off on Philadelphia. But no, we were talking
Chardy
about
McDaniels or Chardy Mc, what's the Chardy Mc, whatever drinking game they come up with. That episode is hilarious. If you haven't watched that, go watch it. It's probably on Netflix. But anyway, back to Pacific Rim.
But you said what was the main character? It's
Mako Mori.
Mako Mori. Well, she's adopted by is his last name Eba?
Idris Elba.
Elba. We'll call him Elba. So, Mustache Man.
Mustachio.
But anyway, so in the story you find, or in this timeline, there's an attack in Japan where there's a little Japanese girl, it's attacking Tokyo, and somehow everyone in Tokyo is either gone or dead, except for this little girl.
Well, I think it's more like she's sort of singled out as the iconic survivor because someone snapped a picture of her like directly in the aftermath of the attack. Mm-hmm. So she gets it's like the picture of the dude in Tiananmen Square standing in front of the tanks. It's that sort of like that sort of notoriety. Mm-hmm. And then
I guess I'm thinking of because. Go ahead with your point. So.
I don't know. That was my point.
Oh, all right. Because I mean, they talk about it in Year Zero, where it's just a picture of her and she's in her blue jacket, which you see in the trailers too.
Yeah,
you see her, she's holding a little red shoe, and everything in the background's gray, or dead. Mm-hmm. Which I'm also thinking. So when they mind meld, he goes into her mind and he sees what she sees, because apparently in her mind the kaiju like corners her in an alleyway, which wouldn't have happened. It would have just smashed the alley.
Right.
And so, and then you see him with her when he doesn't save her. It's Elba. Yeah. Elbow. But so yeah, and she is adopted by
Elba's
Elba.
character.
Yeah, and but in the show she speaks terrible English. Now I know he speaks Japanese to her in the book, but don't you think that she's been raised by like someone who speaks English? Her English would be better. That's just the casting thing for me, because when I interviewed her, she could barely get a couple words across, and it's like...
Well, she is a Japanese actress who they brought in to get some cultural flavor in there.
Yeah, and that's just... I mean, it would just... I don't know. I would just feel like if she was put in that scenario where she was adopted by an English person... I mean, if I was adopted by...
Speaking English?
Yeah, if I was adopted by a Swedish person, I'd probably speak Swedish.
Yeah.
But...
Well, she speaks English, but...
She
got a pretty heavy accent. And I think that's just something. That's something you're gonna have to.
I'll get over.
Shrug off, because. Yeah, I mean, it might detract a little bit from my enjoyment of the film, but honestly, I'm not gonna have as long as the monster fights, as long as the visuals are up to snuff, as long as they take the good parts of the '98 Godzilla movie and incorporate the good parts of Cloverfield, sort of mush those together, throw in some Gundam, and then
is it mushing when they're? I think with Cloverfield it was sprinkling because there's not enough to mush.
That's very true.
You're asking me to make a cookie with a crumb.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go on record right now saying Cloverfield sucked. And if
see, I disagree. It didn't suck.
Yeah, it did suck.
No, it did suck.
Okay, it didn't suck if either you were high or you had taken enough Advil that you didn't get a headache every time the camera moved.
Well, see, I may have been pretty high for that one.
It was a terrible, terrible movie.
But
it had a
I
lot.
think it did some of the things it did well. Wait, the things that I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. I liked certain parts of it. Basically, is what I'm trying.
I like the idea of certain parts of it, like the whole. There's an alien. We have no idea. Mm-hmm. Good. I don't want to backstory on the alien. I want to feel the moment. That's what I did. I felt the moment, but it turned into this stupidness. Like oh, this girl, she's trapped in her room, and I'm only getting a hold of her every 25 minutes.
Yeah.
She has a pole going through her, but she has enough time to call me.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow her apartment building is tilted on an axis, and the Cloverfield monster just happens to be staring right at her the entire time. No,
I don't know.
Garbage.
There were some serious inconsistencies, like how did it first? Like one of my big complaints was like, how the hell did it sneak up on them at the end of the movie? And like
it tiptoed,
and it was just like
it held its
sneaking
breath.
along, it held its like neck, heart, breath, and then snuck up and bit what's his face in half.
Oh, and
how did it not just swallow him whole, or like
Cooch.
take a big mouthful of dirt along with him, like that it just like chomped his like lower half, while yet being like above him? I don't know how that worked.
Well, no,
all, but
being a dainty monster like it is,
it was a fairly dainty monster,
and it had the ability to sneak around. It could definitely have complete skill on. I'm just gonna get a little nibble right here.
Just like grab the leg, toss it up, and chop him in half in midair. That would have been cool to see, but of course it's a found footage film, so we didn't get to see that.
And I like found footage films. Like I like documentaries. For example, Troll Hunter was great.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that.
Yes, Troll Hunter is on Netflix, and I highly recommend watching that. But Cloverfield I thought was terrible. But you also said the Godzilla '98.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it.
It's a good '90s movie as long as you go into it like with the thought in mind. This is not Godzilla. If you're a fanboy, if you're a purist like I am, then you got to go into it being like, okay, this is not Godzilla. This is some other monster that stupid Americans simply confused for Godzilla because they're dumb. Actually, there's a Godzilla movie, Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All-Out Attack, which is quite a mouthful, but it's also one of the best Godzilla movies. Actually, I think that should go on. I'm trying to come up with a list of like 5 kaiju films that he should see before he goes to see Pacific Rim. That needs to be one of them.
All right.
And there's a little bit in that movie where the Japanese are like, they're like in some kaiju awareness program or something, and they're in a classroom, and some guy's like, didn't Godzilla attack the Americans like a couple years ago? And they're like, no. That was a big iguana. They were wrong. It wasn't Godzilla. So like, I think it's interesting that Toho has that forethought to like include all of their monsters, because it was still, a licensed Toho monster, the '98 Godzilla. But
is it Gorgia?
It's Zilla, I think, is Zilla. Or Gino, Godzilla in name only. Those are the 2 different names that I've heard for it. I like Zilla. But yeah, not a good Godzilla movie, a good monster movie, and one of the first photorealistic monster movies to be put out.
Yeah, because it wasn't a guy in a thick suit. Mm-hmm. It made sense that he was, I don't know, that he moved a certain way.
Yeah.
It wasn't like in the old Godzilla movies where he one pick up the other by the tail and it would spin it around.
It
was still standing
you
up
could
straight.
see the wires. But see, that's part of the charm of like those old kaiju movies, is that they are so bad, but still so great. And then as you get further on in the series, like into the 90s and the 2000 Godzilla movies and stuff like that, the quality of the effects starts to raise. And even though they are guys in suits, like there's still, there's some pretty convincing monster brawling and destruction going on because, damn, the Japanese can make some miniature sets. Holy crap.
Well, yeah, that, and they're like, you have to get this right the first time because we are not rebuilding this set.
Right. You don't fuck up.
But no, so I feel like Pacific Rim will bring in the best what they've learned from Godzilla from the '98 that the city fight, because that's really what they're taking away from it.
Right.
There's even a scene where he comes crashing out of a building just like Zilla did in Godzilla.
Exactly.
And Cloverfield,
Stacker Pentecost is his fucking name. Idris Elba's character, Stacker Pentecost. Pentecost. What a name. That's another thing I love about this movie is that all of the characters' names are just like so like they're. You could see someone having this name, but not quite in our universe. Like it's a little bit absurd. Their names, like Charlie Hunnam's character, Raleigh Beckett. Idris Elba, Stacker Pentecost. Charlie Day, the scientist guy. Dr. Newton Geisler. Ron Perlman is Hannibal Chow. Like, I love these names. They're like
Hannibal Chow.
They're definitely.
But it does show that cultures have just crossed. Because here we have some creepy English names and Chow.
Hannibal Chow. And he's supposed to be like, he's got like gold teeth in the
like
bits
goggles.
I've seen.
I feel like he's been blinded by something, so he has like some kind of.
And he's got like his like pimp suit on. I mean, he's like this kaiju black market organ dealer, and he's just this character. I think that's really great.
Hannibal Chow. Put the kaiju in the basket.
Or else it gets the hose again.
I don't know. Overall, this movie just looks fun. I think that it's gonna be worth my time because well, I guess it's only 10:40 right now, so it's still 11 days till the movie opens.
No, it opens on the 12th.
So
it's the 3rd, so 9 days.
Why is this so difficult? Yeah.
I don't even know why I pay attention, because I'm going to Brazil on Friday, and I will not be able to see it when it comes out in theaters, because it doesn't come out in Brazil until, I think, August 21st. And
K-Day.
K-Day?
Because K-Day happened August 2013.
Really?
What if it opened on K-Day? That'd be kind of
cool.
That
would be pretty cool, if they tied it into the comic that way. But no, yeah, like, I'm so bummed that I'm not going to be here for it. But hopefully it'll kick so much ass that they're like, holy crap, we have to keep this movie in theaters for 2 months. We should. I'll keep my fingers crossed, but
that's okay. I'll just forward you everything I record on my phone.
I was gonna say you should sneak your smartphone in
and film.
And no, don't even film it. Just FaceTime me. We both have iPhones.
Are you comfortable?
Yes. FaceTime me while you're watching the movie, and I can get my Pacific Rim fix.
How frustrating! Like, I could see people doing that though, being like, "I need you to FaceTime me right now.
Please
save us money,
sweet Jesus."
But no, that's.
I went out and bought the prequel comic, and I would totally be willing to pay full price to go see Pacific Rim, mostly because I really respect Guillermo del Toro as a director and as a creative visionary. I think he's.
I want to see this in IMAX.
Yeah, me too.
I don't
one of the few movies that I'd be like down to see it in IMAX 3D.
And I feel like it'd be a fun movie to see in 3D, but I don't want to risk it because I get headaches really easy, especially with music. And I was like, I'll just see it in 2D, but like I feel like IMAX 3D, I feel like I would just go and just wet the entire time,
like puking and
just out of my eyes,
hissing with joy.
It never ends. But no, definitely this has been the movie I've been looking forward to all since it showed up on my radar out of nowhere. And you can even look back. I'll link my first article when I first saw the first trailer and I gushed about how great I thought it was and kept posting about it like every other day. I'll link that to this video. But yeah, so I'm ready for this movie. I'm gonna pay full price, go in the midnight showing.
Power to you, dude.
Like I did for every other superhero movie that's let me down. Dark Knight Rises, Iron Man 3.
Meanwhile, I will be staring at gorgeous brown women booty for a good 6 weeks.
I'll be looking at gorgeous fangirl booty.
Fangirl booty.
Got that.
Think we're gonna get in trouble for being so misogynistic on your podcast?
I don't know. Like I told you, only 6 people listen to this. No, we just got distracted. There's a
we're watching.
We basically have this trailer of Pacific Rim
it's a featurette. It's a featurette that sort of explores the design and the philosophy behind the design of the kaiju, and it's just super cool looking.
Yeah, and so we got distracted for a second.
Oh, okay. Well, you the viewer at home can't see the image that we're looking at right now, but it's a bit of concept art for the kaiju called Knifehead, which he sort of looks like he's got a big knife for a head. But this particular bit of artwork was drawn by one of my personal favorite sci-fi fantasy artists, Wayne D. Barlow, and he did the creature designs for Titan AE, and he did a bunch of stuff for Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I think he did all the creatures. And stuff.
Okay, okay, I got you.
So the good parts of that movie.
I would not take credit for Voldemort.
Right? No, not that so much.
I did Voldemort last night.
But he's done like creature designs and alien designs for years and years, and like all of his stuff is really cool. If you don't know about him, go learn about him because he's a really cool guy, and he's got his fingers in like every pie. I mean, he did the creature designs for
fingers in everybody.
Yeah, it said every pie.
They said everybody.
His fingers in everybody. But no, he did Avatar. So like all the really visually striking and very cool creatures that were.
Do you know if he had a hand in Man of Steel 2 or the Man of Steel movie?
No, I don't know.
All right, because have you seen Man of Steel?
No.
Well, this is an additional spoiler for Man of Steel. They show you a little bit of Krypton, and a lot of animals are like you see only two, like a buffalo like animal, like buffaloes, Triceratops mix.
Okay.
And then you see the dragon from Avatar.
Oh, okay.
But they're all really
pretty cool.
Like I definitely would like to see a Man of Krypton, Jor-El, the scientist, kick ass.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
It'd be cool, but yeah, so it'd be interesting to look up.
Yeah. So, Wayne D. Barlow, remember the name. You will definitely see his designs in the future, no doubt.
You may not know it, but you
may not know it, but they'll be there.
Yeah, so we've covered a lot. Because we've been trying not to talk about this to each other when we're not. Like, we would have conversations. No, we can't.
No, we gotta save it for the podcast.
But that's how we did with Dynamic Dead when we'd watch. Me and my friends me and my other group would watch the Walking Dead together and be like, no, we'll wait and talk about it when we're on the show. Yeah, we see each other on campus and hey, dang it.
It's funny.
People are getting ready for 4th of July. We can hear fireworks going off outside.
Whoop, whoop.
So yeah, basically, Pacific Rim opens July 12th. Be there.
Yeah.
Be there if you enjoy giant monsters. If you were
lucky bastards.
If you were a kid during the grand age of Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin, not Samurai, not
Dino Force or
Dino Thunder was kind of cool.
Dino
because it
Thunder.
brought Tommy back. Okay, I watched that. I watched it because Tommy.
We digress.
Back. I mean, you can look at my stuff. I took pictures of Jeff and did Frank, who's Tommy. I asked him to punch me.
Yeah, you just wanted to feel the power. You wanted to feel the power of the. He was the Red Ranger, right?
No, he was the green and white.
Green and white.
Dragon Zord.
Man, see, I didn't watch that much Power Rangers when I was a kid. I thought it was kind of dumb, which I guess I missed out because
he was my hero. I'll tell you a quick story. I saw him at Cincinnati Comic-Con in 2012. Last year.
I've seen the Facebook photo.
Yeah, and so I'll post the picture during the slideshow when I post it on YouTube. But so he's there, and we're in line waiting, and there are these guys behind us who are hardcore Power Ranger fans. Like, we've been trying to get to the con that Zordon was going to be speaking in, but he rarely ever does anything. And they have all this stuff where they were collecting, and I was just like, I just wanted to see Tommy. And so we get close enough in line, and his wife. She's attractive.
Yeah.
Very attractive. She's like, well, she was talking about how hungry she was, and he said, whoever can get my wife some, it was like caramel nuts or cinnamon nuts or something like that, and he was like, whoever can go get me, and he said, whoever can get my wife some I'll give a free T-shirt and a free signing too. Woo. And I was with my girlfriend Emily, and I just remember going swim move, and I pushed Addison. I jumped the thing, and I went sprinting. Like I looked like an idiot. I had my backpack full of stuff. It's bouncy back and forth, and so I'm like out of breath. I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt. It's hot, and I'm sweating. I run down, and the lady's like, "Okay, so what do you want?" And she was like, she was out of the small bags, so I got the most expensive one.
Bag of
Give me the biggest bag you want. It was like that Futurama. Just take my money. And I came running back because I had this feeling that there was this guy who did the same thing, who went and got food before me and brought it back, and I had this image of me tackling this guy and taking him down. But no, so then I got a free signing, got a free T-shirt, which I wear all the time. I wear it tomorrow, but it'd be not the best idea. Tomorrow's a Captain America shirt.
Well, yes, that does make sense.
But no, so that was my Jason David Frank story.
Right on.
I had
Good story.
Yeah, but anyway, so what I'm saying is this movie has just been something I've been waiting for forever.
Oh yeah.
And they've been releasing clips online, like on YouTube and stuff. Like one was, we've been making fun of it a lot, Elbow Rocket, which is you see Gypsy Danger fighting which kaiju was it?
Oh, that would be Leatherback.
Leatherback, yeah. So they're fighting, and they're like, we gotta do it, and initiate Elbow Rocket.
Rocket, and we're like...
The elbow opens up, and there's like a rocket.
Jet flame comes out.
It shoots, and you see like the flames.
In the face.
And you're like, the name, like I saw the name, and I was like, looking at it, I was like, that sounds so dumb. And it happens, and like, I need an Elbow Rocket.
That is so cool.
Like it's like the Pokemon.
Yeah, it's like a Pokemon move or a Digimon move. You shout it out before you actually do the attack.
But I feel like there's a lot of that in this movie. There will be like I don't know, like when they're in the air, stratosphere kick,
thunder punch.
Oh,
I'll shit myself laughing.
They're like weather rods or like weather blimps in the background. Like initiating thunderstorm.
Well, the whatchamacallit, the Russian Jaeger, Cherno Alpha, has a move called Tesla Fists, or an ability, I guess, called Tesla Fists. And basically, it's big old like hammer-looking hands curl up, and then they have Tesla generators, which are like big electricity dynamos, and so they're like supercharged electric fists for the whomping. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, and then I feel like there was something else that microwave chest cannon.
Yeah, microwave chest cannon. That's gonna be cool. Plasma caster. That's like supposedly for wounding and cauterizing toxic kaiju blue, which is like their blood, I guess. Cauterizing those wounds so that they don't contaminate the cities that they're fighting them in.
Yeah,
which is cool.
I
think the whole premise of the whole idea of them being silicone based is really neat.
Oh,
they're supposedly silicone based life forms, so they're all like full of ammonia and like horrible toxic chemicals, which is I'm assuming by design, because whatever's on the other side of the
evil. It's the Cloverfield guys.
It's the little parasites. The parasites are the mastermind behind this.
I'll be so pissed off if they reference Cloverfield.
Really? I think it'd be funny if they referenced it. Like, maybe that was one of the first kaiju that...
What if they, like...
I don't think you could do that, though, because... Although... Well, no, because Trespasser, the one that destroys the Golden Gate Bridge, is already the first one. So, unfortunately, I doubt we'll be seeing any references to...
As for American monster movies, I don't want to say kaiju. Kaiju. American kaiju movies. This will, by far, stand to be the best for a long time until he decides to do a sequel, which we'll see how that turns out, because sequels usually are
If this one does really well, you know, how Hollywood goes, it's like if something makes money, they can't just let there be one. You know? So if this does well in theaters, then hopefully we'll see some other... Well, there's going to be Godzilla, the new Godzilla by Legendary Pictures in 2014. So there's definitely going to be at least one other new kaiju movie made by an American film company coming out within the next couple of years. Godzilla, that's going to be cool.
Number 2.
Try number 2. Round 2. Ding, ding. Let's see.
But lately, I mean, Americans, we're just... Considering the fact that we don't make the technology, but we usually have the best CG. I mean, I've not seen a Japanese... I mean, I'm trying to think back right now, like, to any Japanese or even Korean movie where...
The Host is a good example. The CG is dated now, but couple years, when it came out, I want to say
Aren't these just
2008.
like unicorns? Aren't they based off like their version of unicorns?
Are they? I didn't think
I
so.
don't know,
I thought it was an original monster.
Somewhere I thought they said like this is our unicorn.
This is our unicorn.
It's,
Whoa, Korea!
It's like a slug.
It's like a slug fish. Yeah,
it's like something from Star Wars.
These things were nasty. Yeah.
Oh,
they're supposedly coming out with a sequel to that too.
Really?
Yeah, The Host 2.
I've only ever actually seen clips. I've never actually seen it.
What, The Host?
Yeah.
It's good, and it's actually a really well done, like, character driven movie. There's not too much monster in it, but when there is, it's pretty cool. The final fight scene is super badass.
Is it just a monster versus people? Or
it's just a monster versus people. It's actually a comedy for the most part. Like, this family of ne'er-do-well bumpkins, like, has their daughter abducted by the creature, and they get wind that she's still alive somewhere, being held by it, and so they go off on this epic quest to find her, and they're like dodging the government, and there's like this actually really interesting and very clever commentary on U.S. foreign policy about biological weapons and testing new weapons on unsuspecting populaces and American ignorance and stuff like that. It's interesting. You should give it a watch. Actually, that's going to go on your list too.
All right. Then we at some point, I said we try to find a point tomorrow before, because he's leaving on Friday, and I will not see him for 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
If I'm even still around, if I'm not up in the air.
Up in the air. Junior Birdman.
Yeah. But no, I think you should definitely see Troll Hunter. It's all subtitled, but
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with subtitles.
Actually, I turn on the subtitles to all my movies now because I like to know things.
Mm-hmm.
My girlfriend actually started liking it, and my little brother's starting to get used to it. But I hate not knowing what they say because a lot of times they're grumbling. Like I know some of you are going to hear me talking right now, like, what did he say?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, because that's why I like to know, and I like to know how things are pronounced, and I don't know. But yeah, so
I'm about subtitles. I like them, but yeah. Anyway,
yeah. So definitely check out the clips. I'm trying to think of what else. I think that's it. It's getting late, and I gotta go set up for the 4th of July party tomorrow, to film because the Dynamic Buzz has not had an episode in almost a month. So I gotta post some kind of video in honor of the 4th of July.
Yeah.
So yeah, Pacific Rim comes out on July 12th, 2013.
Yeah, mooks.
Seen it. But as always, check out my website at www.thedynamicbuzz.com. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. Leave a comment down below on our YouTube channel. Let us know what you think of this podcast. Let us know what you think of the movie, and hopefully one of us will respond back. I'm Anthony.
I'm Birch.
And this is the Dynamic Rim.
It was going to be the Dynamic Rim job, but we decided against it.
Yeah.
I think it's probably a good idea.
All right, guys.
And on that note...
All right, that is the buzz.